right? So it will sit here, or for me, I feel like this is a nice spot. Okay, so just put it here. Once you're done, usually if you want, you can go to docs and then click lock. So it's gonna lock it, so it's gonna stay there. Now while you stream or record content, this can actually stay here and you can take a look at it. If something happens in your frames or something is going on, you'll be able to see it. So now I'm gonna show you things that's in OBS and how to read and understand them, and obviously how to tweak the set to look at, and I'll try to explain actually what's happening. The first thing you obviously need to look at is your CPU. Okay, your CPU usage. So your CPU usage, even without having to look at the stats, usually OBS is gonna show it to you here in the corner. And as you can see, mine is at 2%. Usually this is like, my CPU is really good. So if you have a CPU usage that's above 50%, I would say you start getting uncomfortable. Right, so anything below 50%, I think you're fine. My computers that I use, usually I have like a CPU around, this one is always below 5%, but I have my Mac minis that usually will go around 10%, 12% max. But I have tested some small mini PCs that will actually, when I start live streaming, the CPU will go around 60% and it will jump to 80%. So those usually not good. You don't want your CPU usage going beyond 50%. I would say like 30%, even below, would be even better, really. So because again, you have other things that may be running, other tabs that may be running, so you don't want to be having your CPU going all over the place. So usually CPU, we want to have it as low as possible. That's your computer processing unit. And then the next thing you need to look at, right now I'm recording in 4K 60 frames per second, and as you can see, it's showing my FPS, which is 60 frames per second. Now you want to keep it that way. You don't want to see frames dropping from like 60 to 40 and 30 and then 20 and then coming back at 60. Or if you're recording in 30 or you're live streaming in 30, most people will do 30 frames per second. Usually if you're not gaming or you're not doing sports, you don't want it to be dropping to like 17, 20, 15, 10, right? Where it start becoming red. So this number right here, you want it to be stable. Usually should not change. Now the next metric or the next parameter we're gonna look at is basically for disk space available. This is just your storage, so usually you should have enough storage for recording. If you're recording and say this one will say disk full in, it will say how many hours you have left. Obviously you want to make sure you have enough, so